Tesla just quietly launched the new Model Y L in China, and it comes with some eye-opening upgrades compared to the base Model Y found here in North America. Upgrades that, in my opinion, could shape the future of the Model Y as well as the entirety of Tesla's lineup. So in this video, I'll walk you through the standout new features of the Model Y L. And by the end of this video, I'll share some theories on what this launch could mean for the North American market. But first, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is John with Blackbird Productions, and I create videos like this every month. I also create car reviews every month, not including last month, of course, just because I got way too busy and it's just a whole story. I might save it till the end of this video. So if you are a real one, you can stick around for that. But ultimately, every month with an asterisk, just because those take a lot of time in planning. But if you haven't already, please go and check out my newest car review of the AMG GT Black Series. You can view it in a card somewhere above here. Yeah, right there. So you can view that after watching this video, of course. Aside from that, I also make other cool content centered all around cars. So if you're into cars as much as I am, definitely consider subscribing, just like the over 700 of you that have subscribed between the last couple of videos I've made. So thank you so much for that. And I hope you continue to stick around as I create new content. But for the rest of you, I don't know what you're doing, but definitely change that. Go ahead and subscribe. Give the video a like if you found this informative. And with that, let's get into the video. So first, let's start with the bad news. And that bad news is the design really hasn't changed much with this new Model Y. At first glance, it still looks like the same Model Y we're used to seeing. At least the new one, not the old one. But honestly, dig a little bit deeper and there's some small meaningful updates. The most important one is the wider wheelbase, stretched by about 6 inches, along with a slight bump in height of roughly 44 millimeters, all to serve those new rear passengers, which we'll also be talking about. Now, even though these upgrades don't dramatically alter the exterior styling, they have a huge impact on how the car feels day to day. And that wider wheelbase obviously means noticeably more interior space, especially for passengers in the back. It also improves the ride quality, giving the car a smoother, more planted feel on the road. That also translates into better handling as well. The weight distribution is also a little bit more even now given the wider wheelbase, so that means a more balanced ride and obviously a little bit more stable around those corners. So while the Model Y L doesn't wow you with a brand new look, the engineering tweaks underneath the skin tell us Tesla is quietly working on making this car feel more premium, more stable, and ultimately more competitive in markets where passenger comfort and ride quality matter a lot. The interior upgrades are also very supple, but you'd be surprised how much Tesla was able to pack in here given the price of this car. Starting in the front, for the first time ever in a Model Y, you're getting adjustable lower thigh support in both front seats, a feature usually reserved for premium sedans and SUVs. And it might sound minor, but if you spend long hours behind the wheel, this is one of those comfort touches that make a huge difference. The front center display has also gotten a slight bump in upgrade, and the previous screen was 15.4 inches. This time around, the screen is now a full 16 inches. So very small upgrade, but nonetheless, I think anyone can appreciate a bigger screen in a Tesla. There are 2 other upgrades that may not sound as flashy, but honestly, they really level up the overall ownership experience. First, the wireless charging pad up front has been bumped up to 50 watts. And get this, it's ventilated. That means no more overheated phone, and it also means that your phone actually stays cool while charging, a detail that most automakers overlook. But Tesla, obviously they nailed it here. And second, the sound system. The Model Y L now comes with an immersive 18-speaker audio setup, designed to wrap your new rear passengers in sound as well. And I feel like while some might think that 18 speakers in an SUV, or I guess like a subcompact SUV, is a little bit excessive, you have to understand it's not just about the sound up front, it's about the sound in the back too. And when you have 3 rows in an SUV, then you obviously want to have all your passengers hear that sound. So that's why they've included 18 speakers in this, just to like quite literally wrap your entire interior in sound. So that way everyone can hear whatever is being played, whether that's a movie or music or podcast, whatever. Also, did I mention the Model Y L comes with additional rear seating? Yeah, it does. It also comes with captain chairs as well, which I think is new for the Model Y. I know maybe the Model X has this, but the Model Y, I don't think has ever had like captain chair style passenger seats, you know, with like armrests. So I thought that was pretty cool. They actually extend up too, so they're motorized just based on like the footage I've seen on the website. So that is like actually really cool. But overall, as far as the interior is concerned, I think Tesla would be dumb not to include this car in the North American market, just because so many families would love to have a car like this, like 3 rows. Not to mention the headroom is a little bit better in this one and the wheelbase is longer. And I feel like the interior proportions are better in this one, just based on what I've seen, than the outgoing 3-row Model Y. Honestly, there's just a lot of value here, especially in the interior. And I feel like Tesla would be very dumb not to offer this in the North American region. But we'll talk about that in a second. First, let's talk about performance. And again, not a ton has changed here, which, as you can probably guess now, is kind of a running theme with the Model Y L. But one upgrade that's definitely worth pointing out is the suspension setup. This particular Tesla now comes with continuous variable dampening shock absorbers. So in plain English, that means the suspension can adapt in real time to different road conditions, giving you a noticeably smoother and more composed ride compared to Tesla's so-called comfort suspension that you'll find in the also new base Model Y, the only new Model Y that we have currently available here in North America. So let's talk about theory time and what this could mean for the North American region. Obviously, I feel like automakers just like to test things out in other markets, just being that, you know, this is China we're talking about here. This is like one of the top EV manufacturers and everyone is big on EVs there. So I think it was a safe play of just testing this out, if you would call it a test, just because honestly, I think a vehicle like this in America would sell very, very well. And you could say there are some people online saying that like, oh, this will never come to North America. Elon Musk has said like this probably won't come to North America. But the fact of the matter is the outgoing Model Y did exist with this 3-row setup. So in my opinion, I feel like it would be a no-brainer not to bring this to North America. Especially since a lot of people, I feel like, especially if you have a family, they really want an SUV like this. I also think it would make a very reasonable middle ground between the Model X, which is like the top tier, more premium SUV than this one. It's also bigger as well, much bigger actually. And quite frankly, I know the Model X hasn't had its redesign yet, but right now the Model Y is one of the best looking SUVs on the market in my opinion, just because it introduces a lot of ideas that I feel like no automaker has done before. Like for example, the fact that the rear lighting actually reflects on a panel, and that's how they get like the rear lighting set up on that. That's actually, like when I first saw that, I was like, all right, what is this? But when I actually saw it in person, I was like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. I also like the front light bar situation as well, which I kind of wish it was just a continuous light bar, just one piece, but I'll forgive Tesla just because it still looks really good and it looks very, very stately when you see it on the road. Very, very distinctive as well. So in terms of design, I'm actually kind of glad they didn't really change much with this new Model Y L, just because the new Model Y looks so good to me. So honestly, if I were a betting man, I would say that some form of this car will come to the States. I don't know if it's going to be a lower trim of the Model X that they'll kind of slot this in, or they'll just call it like the Model Y L and then bring it to the States essentially. So yeah, I'd say there's a lot to think about if you're a Tesla fan and you also enjoy their SUVs. I feel like we're definitely gonna have an SUV glow up with Tesla starting next year, just because I already know the Model X redesign is right around the corner, and who knows what they'll do with that design. The performance version of the Model Y is also around the corner as well. And if I remember correctly, I want to say they were supposed to debut it towards the end of this year, so Q4 this year. But I think they pushed it back to like spring or something next year. But nonetheless, that car is also going to be pretty nice when it comes out. And based on what I'm hearing, it's going to be similar to the Model 3 Performance, where they just have like a lot of little performance tweaks and things like that. They're not going to be changing a whole lot with the design. They'll add some carbon fiber bits and pieces and maybe lower the car a couple inches, stuff like that. and obviously give it more power because it's going to be the performance variant. So a lot to look forward to in the Tesla world. Anyway, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I thought I'd talk about this given that I do own a Model 3 Performance and I do love Teslas. And when I heard about this new Model Y L, I was like, what is this? Why are they calling it an L? Like Model Y L. It's just a very bizarre name, but I guess it just means Model Y large. So if you're thinking about it like that, it kind of does make sense. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely feel free to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It definitely helps me out and it also helps out folks who are interested in cars find my content across YouTube. So thank you so much for liking and subscribing. This has been John with Blackbird Productions and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.